And President Biden's national security team has told him that another terror attack is likely in Kabul and that maximum force protection measures are being taken at the airport. For the latest developments in Washington, our correspondent Ketivan Gorjestani is standing by for us at the White House. Ketivan, tell us more about these latest statements on security threats coming out of the White House.
Well, the White House, including Jen Psaki, the spokesperson for the White House, at a briefing just now confirmed what we've been hearing from the Pentagon, from Joe Biden throughout the day, that indeed they know that another terror attack is likely at that Kabul airport. So they are taking every precaution because they know that that is a risk, but the mission trumps that risk. They want to accomplish that mission being, of course, getting all of those American citizens who want to leave out of Afghanistan, getting still as many of those Afghans, SIV applicants, special immigrant visa applicants out, and of course, retrograding, drawing down and withdrawing all U.S. troops by that deadline of August 31st. And really over the past 24 hours, we've been hearing about this balance between that threat assessment and the fact that everyone is adamant and committed to finishing that mission. Joe Biden said it. Our military is committed to getting people out, even if they are putting their lives at risk. He also said that if the military, if commanders on the ground at the Kabul airport asked for any additional support, he would grant them what they need. But right now, the Pentagon is assuring the American people and the Biden administration that right now they don't need any extra support, that they have the means to protect that airport and to finish that mission in the next few days.
Now, the Biden administration has been grappling with this attack, with the chaotic withdrawal. How are lawmakers in Washington reacting to these developments?
Well, Joe Biden has been under heavy criticism from lawmakers. I'll start with the Republicans. No surprise there. They've been slamming the president ever since the beginning of that evacuation process, basically. Not so much on the fact that Joe Biden stands by his decision to withdraw troops, because most Republicans as well as Democrats agree with that. What they're criticizing him for is how he has handled the withdrawal, and especially this past week, 10 days of that evacuation process. You have some who are calling for his resignation, who are even calling for impeachment. There have been impeachment articles drawn up. This is a little bit of the extreme reaction from the Republicans, but you have others, especially in leadership, like Mitch McConnell, the Senate minority leader, the Republican, as well as his House counterpart, Kevin McCarthy, who are criticizing Joe Biden and who wanted Joe Biden to push that August 31st deadline because they felt that there was no way that they could get all Americans out by then. And also, they feel that if the Americans leave, there's no way to have a forceful counterattack to avenge what happened yesterday, that attack on those U.S. service members and those Afghans, dozens of people who lost their lives. On the Democratic side, of course, you're not seeing that much criticism, although Senator Menendez, who is the leader of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, he was very critical of the Biden administration for how they've executed this plan, this evacuation plan. But Democrats are trying to avoid having to really give their opinion or their assessment of Joe Biden's performance. And they have focused on what is the situation for all those tens of thousands of Afghan refugees arriving in the United States. How are they going to be received here in the United States? They've asked the Biden administration to raise the refugee cap for the coming year in order to allow these numbers to be welcomed to the United States. And so that's really the focus of the Democrats. But the Democrats in Congress have already said that they want to hold committee hearings to understand really what went wrong in the execution of that withdrawal process for U.S. troops. They also, majority of them, agree that it needed to be done, but the way it was executed is where they want answers.
And over these next few days, as the U.S. evacuation mission nears its end, what can we expect to see in Kabul during this final stage of evacuations?
Well, Jem Psaki was very adamant that she was not going to give any logistical updates or really go into the detail as to how exactly and when different parts of this drawdown would be happening. But she said, expect the number of evacuees to dwindle down. We've already seen the numbers reduced today, and she said that those numbers would be decreasing in the coming days because the evacuation process is nearing its end. But she refused to say how the military retrograde will be taking place specifically. We know that that military retrograde has already started. There are military members who have already left Kabul airport, but the Biden administration is keeping very mum on really the updates of how that plan is going. Of course, they are saying that this is because of security risks, and they don't want to give too many details as to how this drawdown is going to happen. But they also know, and they have acknowledged, that as much as they draw down those military troops, that's when the threat is going to get even worse. And the final days of this operation will also be the most dangerous days. And so they're really ready for that part. They know that ththese days are critical.
Kativan Gorjestani, thank you for that reporting. Our White House correspondent there reporting for us live.